All right.
What's up, man?
We got Tyrin Turner in the building.
What's up? What's up, Vlad? What's up with it?
You know, the person responsible for one of the most iconic characters in movies of all time with Kane.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is how many years later? 20-something years later?
20-something years, yep.
20-something years later, and you ask any hip-hop kid about, you know, Menace II Society or Kane or O-Dog for that matter,
Right.
they know exactly what it is.
Man, just blessed, man. The character just really transcended to like it's kind of like it keeps just growing. Like
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, man.
Who would ever know?
Congratulations, man.
Thank you so much.
Big fan. So originally you grew up in South Central.
Grew up in South Central LA, 51st and Hoover.
Okay. Now, that was a gang area at the time, but you never got into any of that.
No, I just a lot of my friends I grew up with were in gangs and stuff like that. I never really wanted to be involved in it, but I always had the street element. Like I wasn't affiliated, but I had to do some of the things. I had to fight. I had to, all the things that you do in the neighborhood.
Okay. But you never joined yourself?
Never in life.
What area was that?
The Hoovers.
The Hoover Crips?
Hoover Crips, yep.
Okay. And did they try to recruit you at all? Because you're living there, and they're trying to get their numbers up.
No, I never really got recruited. I was just, it wasn't like that. I was just in the neighborhood. No one ever came and said, you need to be from Hoop. No, it was never that. Because we kind of grew up with the guys that, I kind of grew up with some of the guys that were Hoover, and it just never came up like, man, you should join the gang. It was just, they was from Hoover. I was just me.
I feel you. I feel you. Now, your mom actually caught you stealing at one point.
Oh man, yeah, that was crazy. I was like 10, something like that, and we was at, it was a Zodi's, how long ago, that Newberry Zodi. So my boy went and got these Vans, they were like World Cups, and he went in the Zodis, and they were so fresh and so white. I was like, and he came out with them, I was like, damn, that was easy. So I went back in with him to try to get me some, and somebody, a lady or a clerk or something walked me into another room. And that was the police department.
Okay.
And then from there, they snapped a picture of me. I didn't know what was gonna happen. So they drove me home in the police car. They brought me to my mom. My mama answered the door with that, almost crying. She didn't know, oh, my baby's dead. They coming to tell me, can you come view the body or whatever, how they do it. So they led me to my mom. My mom just told me to go run some water. I ran the water. She put me in the tub.
Okay.
And she just, it was a beating taking place.
With extension cords?
Extension cord.
Why extension cords?
Because it burns, stings, and itches at the same time. Like you're gonna get a burn, an itch, it's everything in one.
Why in the bathtub?
Just so I would never, because it made me, I never wanted to do that again.
But why do you have to be wet while you're getting whooped like that?
Yes.
Why? What does the wetness add to the situation?
It just adds to the sting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So when you're wet, it stings more. Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
So she was just basically,
don't you ever in your life do it again.
And just whooped you up.
Just whooped me up.
And
Passion of Christ style. Passion of Christ style.
Right. After that, you were good.
After that, I was good. I'm like, I'm cool.
You stopped stealing.
I stopped stealing. I used to eat candy in the supermarket. Remember how you used to have the candy in the market? I used to, eat that every now and then just to walk by, but, nothing major. Right.
But other than that, you weren't.
Right.
Your life of crime was
Right.
over. Was there at that point. Now you had a kind of a different story when you lost your virginity.
It was different. Yeah. I was like 12 years old. Like 12 years old. My home. I had a swing. I had a BMX bike. It was white and blue. My boy picked me up on my own bike. Got on the handlebar and said, "Yo, it's this girl around the corner." You know what I'm saying? She letting everybody, fuck. You know what I'm saying? So I can cuss, right?
Yeah.
She had letting everybody hit. She's like 16. So we went around the corner.
But you were how old?
I was like 12.
And she was 16. Okay.
She was like 16, 17. So we went around the corner. We went through the window, and my homeboy was hitting or whatever. And I was like, I couldn't wait to hit next or whatever. So when I get on it, I seen all this hair on her coochie, right? So that scared. I was like, whoa, cause I didn't have none on mine. I didn't have hair on mine yet, so I didn't know what the fuck that was. I was like, what the fuck? It looked like a SOS pad or something. I didn't know what the fuck. So I'm like, oh shit. So I panicked a little bit. So then my other homeboy went, and then I kind of waited to try to figure out, okay, I guess it's cool to go in there. So after he went, I went.
So you had thirds,
I had thirds.
sloppy thirds.
So I had sloppy thirds.
Okay. And that was the first time you had
And
sex.
that was the first time I had sex. And then I remember I liked how I felt. So I was so I always used to ride my bike around there, but the door wasn't open no more. It was the weirdest thing. I never could get it again until I got like 17.
Okay. Did you ever see the girl again?
Yeah, I seen her when I got a little older.
Okay.
Yeah, I seen her again, but it wasn't like something I wanted to hit. It wasn't like, it was whatever at the time, but.
Yeah, I guess y'all got that little connection where it's like,
Yeah.
all right, we just not gonna talk about
Yeah.
it. Like I know and you know, we just go.
Yeah, I've never seen much hair in my life.
I feel you. So, like, at what point did you actually want to act?
I've always was a class clown and stuff like that or whatever. And I remember my cousin had went to this acting workshop or whatever, and I was like, let me go. So we went to the acting workshop, and we were just, I guess she made me do like some kind of commercial thing on paper or whatever. And they didn't even have enough room in the class at first or whatever. So I did the little commercial, Skippy peanut butter, wow, and whatever the hell. And she was like, wow, you're a natural. So from that point on, I just fell in love with just, the art of just making people laugh, cry, smile,
Okay. So, are you starting to take acting lessons at this point? Or are you
I
in
was
classes,
taking. I was taking the little classes, but I always had a naturalness about myself, so I didn't want to lose that. I wanted to kind of like learn a little bit, but kind of keep my naturalness, because sometimes as an actor, people start acting like they're acting, and I never wanted to just lose the realness.
Okay. Now, you end up being in the Janet Jackson Rhythm Nation video.
Right.
Which, for those that don't remember, for those that are like a little too young to remember, this was like the video of its time.
Right.
It was like at the height of Janet Jackson. It was high budget. It was like, because Michael Jackson had already kind of stopped sort of, doing stuff. So Janet was like the next big artist. I think Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis produced the album, and it was like, this was like a huge, huge album, and this was the main song off that album. And here you are, it's like you're one of the stars of the video, essentially. How did that come together?
Caught the bus to this audition. They had this guy named Josh Miller who was supposed to play the character I played. They already had him cast or whatever. So I come in, and I was like, they was like, we already got the person we want cast. But I was like, okay, well, if you want to, you can still give it a try or whatever. So I went in, I gave it a try, and then they were just like, They just kind of like.
But there's no speaking in the role, right?
Yeah, there is a speaking role. It's a longer version.
Oh, okay. I never saw that. Okay.
Yes, so there's a longer version with dialogue in it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so you didn't see that one. So there was a longer version. So they was like, wait a minute, we want Janet to see you. We want Janet to see this. So Janet came in or whatever. She sat down or whatever. And then I did this little thing where I had to cry and do all this, and I won her over.
Okay. Did you guys speak at all?
You know what? I don't remember, because her voice was so like, hey, it's just so light. It's like, I don't know if she said hi or like it was just a Michael. It was a Jackson moment.
Okay. And then you're actually part of the filming of this video, and this was probably like $1 million video or something at the time. This was super high budget.
Right.
How was that experience?
That experience was great. It was. I remember like hugging on Janet or whatever, and like just like I felt like I was falling in love. Like I was just like, man, I don't know if she feel it, but I feel something different.
Right, because at the time that was like the baddest chick in the game, Janet Jackson.
Right, she was like the Beyonce, or
of the time.
Of the time.
That's actually a great comparison.
Yeah.
She was the Beyonce of that time. Yeah.
So I remember hugging her, and I remember we had a scene where we looking in each other's eyes. I'm like, why is she looking at me like that? Like I'm taking it the wrong way. Like why is she? Because I'm gazing in her eyes like this shit's real. You know what I mean? And I'm young, and hormones. It's real.
Okay. So you end up doing that. Was it a good paycheck, or was it just the exposure?
I think it was like it was good for the time. I think like 7,000. It was for the time. Yeah, it was.
And that was your biggest check at the time?
Yeah, it was cool.
Okay. So after that, you actually tried out for Boyz in the Hood.
I tried out for Boyz in the Hood. I did the whole spiel, went in there, met John Singleton. You know, I remember like yesterday, I went in there and it was the scene where, you know, when Cuba got it, he got on.
Damn, okay. You put me right there. You put me right into that scene right there.
And I did that whole little thing, and John Singleton was like, oh, you got it, and the whole nine. And that's when I learned Hollywood is, they'll just say you got something.
When you really don't.
When you really don't. They'll just say,